Flaming Sword here, back at it again, once again. And today, people, today, I decided to do this deck profile right now. I do apologize for the delay, as I got a little bit busier than I anticipated. So right now, what I'm going to be updating you guys is my new Emerald Seal deck, Bucky Diablo Discard. I know a lot of people hate this deck, but I enjoy it because it's full synergenic. I love synergenic combo decks, and it shows a lot more fun than expected. So our starting lineup, it will be the 4 Buckies. It is a main staple that you want to run 100% just for the Floodborn synergy. So you have your turn 2 combo play, which you'll play this on turn 2 after your turn 1 drop Diablo on your turn 1 to look at the opponent's hand to find out if it's safe enough for you to shift it in to the shift Diablo on turn 2 to discard their hand. I do it regardless if they have an answer or not, because realistically, I'd rather be able to get rid of most of their cards in their hand and be able to go full combo to where I can take care of everything and not have too much to worry about. So that is one of the part of the Floodborns that will be running. And if we don't end up having that, I do run 3 1-drop Robin Hood with 3 copies of the shift target. I only do it that way because it's nice to have the Robin Hood when it's needed, but it's not right away needed. It's a good turn 3 option in case if I don't get the value engine off of a Diablo and being able to shift with it. Since most Ruby Amethyst decks or Ruby Sapphire decks, they don't run Teeth Inhibitions anymore. So they abandoned that line, which can make this safe. In my opinion, it can make this shift line a bit safer to run now and not have too much of a worry. Our next Floodborn will be 3 copies of the 3-drop Aladdin. Really good in Ruby Sapphire matchups. Banishing their items straight away. Getting rid of their Fishbone Quills. Getting rid of their Popsicles for additional card draw value with Hiram, Flavisham. And being able to just take care of everything without having too much of a worry. Our last 1-drop, which this makes it 10 1-drops. Sweet. It is the sweet spot, in my opinion, for Emerald Steel, because then you are guaranteed a turn 1 of a 1-drop, not too many of them, and guaranteed a Bucky, which is 3 copies of Hidden Cove. This location, insane. I'm surprised that it's a common, because it buffs the stats of +1 to any character that's moved over there. So it can move Robin Hood. So you could pay 1 to move Robin Hood over there and make it a 4/7. Bypassing Madame Medusa with the Diablo and Brawl. Makes it difficult for them to try to get rid of Diablo through 1 satisfaction. So it's really helpful. But I do also run 4 copies of the 3-drop Ursula, Deceiver of All. I did not ran it at the time, then ended up realizing how impactful this card really is in mirror matches. Being able to double sing cards like Let the Storm Rage on to deal 4 damage and draw 2. So it gets rid of 2 things at once. Running as well 4 strength to double the damage. So easily can get rid of Hiram if having at least 3 characters to have 2 of them. Or get rid of multiples. Or if they don't have a board and they have most of the cards in hand, you can just have Ursula Sane Sun chill and make them discard twice. So it's more than just a Floodborn. It's being able to discard their hand, force them into top deck mode. So I'm also running 3 Baboom. I kind of like it, but I don't like it seed often. I used to run 4 of it, but as time progressed, it became wonky, and I continuously kept seeing it, and not seeing what I need. But I also run 3 copies of then Along Came Seuss. I was a Along Came Seuss hater for the longest time since it came out. And I've came to the conclusion that Along Came Seuss really helps out against Tamatoa, Hirams, any characters with higher strength than the number of characters that the Ursula Deceiver of All would be able to sing, from being able to sing twice. So this can help out with that. This can help out at dealing 5 to the Queen's Castle for any Ruby Amethyst decks, and being able to take out most of the problems in the long run. It is a little bit more removal than you might see in some, but there are reasons behind those, and it's also running 3 copies of Snake Jafar. He is now a staple turn 4 play. The moment you have a Bucky and a Diablo, guaranteed to come out, discard the last card in their hand from your turn 2 to your turn 3 to your turn 4 play. Helps it out. And if you really want to close out the game, I only run 2 copies of the Flynn Rider, his own biggest fan. I like it because it helps out in the late game, forces them to stay in top deck mode, while if this is out, guaranteed on your following turn, quest for 4. And I only run 2 because I have seen decks that have run like 1 to 3 minimum. I like the 2 because it's in the median to where in case if one goes away, I still have another to pull out. It is really underestimated, and a whole lot of good synergies. The last and final Floodborn I run is 4 copies of Beast Tragic Hero. Love it, love it, love it. Allows the additional card draws because they rather keep the Beast Tragic Hero alive. They rather not put any damage on it to get the extra draw. They will try to prevent it. They'll try to prevent that. But if that happens, it becomes a 7 strength character to one-shot Queen's Castle and slowly take out the Meduck Manors. The deck is just really fun, in my opinion. I do plan on making the change for it, but this is only before the set championship. I'm also running 3 copies of We Don't Talk About Bruno. It is a Mother Knows Best, even though you don't sing it twice with the Ursula, Deceiver of All. But it's an added plus to discard a card from their hand at random. So if they only have 0 cards in hand while having a character out that's problematic, We Don't Talk About Bruno, bounce it, and force them to discard it. 100% is able to get rid of Mana Medusa. It's able to get rid of Hirams. It gets able to get rid of Maui's. It gets rid of most problematic characters for Emerald Steel decks have a hard time figuring out how to maneuver around. The final 2 cards, I do run 2 copies of Grab Your Sword. I was running at 3 of this, and only running 2 copies of it Along Came Seuss. But as I playtest against Ruby Amethyst, Ruby Sapphire, more and more and more, it came to me that Along Came Seuss has a better impact than a Grab Your Sword. A Grab Your Sword, it helps out for any wider range decks like Steel Song or Emerald Amethyst or or Amber Amethyst decks that want to go aggro fast. This can allow you to be able to jump back from that and being able to get back the control. So the moment you slow them down is where you're able to get everything taken care of. This is pretty much my deck list. As you can see, I am not running the 2-drop Ursula Deceiver. I was running it at first, but it was too slow for me to be able to handle everything that's being thrown at me. I might add it back to where I only get rid of like a extra copy of Hidden Cove and Baboom, because it's nice to see Baboom a little bit early on if you don't have a Bucky, but it's not impactful. It just only helps you still stall out the turns a little bit. And the bigger problem with the deck is going up against Be Prepared decks. With any deck with Ruby that runs Be Prepared, it can easily be hard to bounce back in the recovery. Hidden Cove is nice, but you don't want to see that too often as well. That's why you see most Hidden Cove decks run only 2 or 0 copies of it. And as time progressed is where it gets a little out of hand. What I do recommend is getting rid of one of these each and run 2 copies of Ursula Deceiver and playtest from there, which I will playtest it after one set championship that's coming up this weekend. So we will see how it goes, and that'll be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I highly appreciate it for looking at this deck profile and being able to enjoy this, because this is before the set championship. Deck listed will be in the description down below if you want to get a full view of it. And comment down below what else you want to see. Smash that like button to get noticed, and click on the bell notification icon so you don't miss a single video. Flaming Zard here, I'm out.